gentlemen, can we have ourselves seated, please? Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, welcome back to our series of talks and discussions, which is part of our seminar on Malaysia's development experience over the past 50 years, which is in conjunction with the Merdeka 50-year celebration of 2007. Our program continues with a talk on Malaysia's growth with distribution policy, reducing socio-economic disparities and eradicating poverty. The speaker for this talk is a native of Detroit, Michigan, and received his bachelor's, master's, and PhD degrees at Harvard University. He's also the director of the Earth Institute, Quetelet Professor of Sustainable Development, and Professor of Health Policy and Management at Columbia University. He is also director of the United Nations Millennium Project and Special Advisor to United Nations Secretary General on the Millennium Development Goals, the internationally agreed goals to reduce extreme poverty, disease, and hunger by the year 2015. He is also president and co-founder of Millennium Promise Alliance, a non-profit organization aimed at ending extreme global poverty. He is internationally renowned for advising governments in Latin America, Eastern Europe, the former Soviet Union, Asia, and Africa on economic reforms, and for his work with international agencies to promote poverty reduction, disease control, and debt reduction of poor countries. In 2004 and 2005, he was named among the 100 most influential leaders in the world by Time magazine, and is the 2005 recipient of the Sargent Shriver Award for Equal Justice. He is author for hundreds of scholarly articles and many books, including New York Times bestseller, The End of Poverty. He is also a member of the Institute of Medicine and is a research associate of the National Bureau of Economic Research. He has received many honorary degrees, most recently from Trinity College of Dublin, the College of the Atlantic, Southern Methodist University, Simon Fraser University, and McGill University. Prior to joining Columbia, he spent over 20 years at Harvard University, most recently as director of the Center for International Development. On 13 of August 2007, he was appointed as the first holder of the Royal Professor Unku Aziz Chair for a period of 2 years, from 2007 to 2009. The establishment of the Royal Professor Unku Aziz Chair honors the contribution of Professor Unku Aziz in the field of education and economic development, especially rural development and poverty. In conjunction with the establishment of the chair, the University of Malaya has set up the Center for Poverty and Development Studies at the Faculty of Economics and Administration. The establishment of both the chair and the center reflects Malaysia's unwavering commitment to the eradication of poverty and an improved standard of living for all Malaysians. Ladies and gentlemen, we present to you Professor Jeffrey D.Sachs.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you so much for the honor of including me in this celebration of the EPU, one of the most remarkable economic institutions in the world, with one of the greatest track records of economic development, certainly in the world. And I am absolutely thrilled to be here. Thrilled to be here during the celebration of the 50th birthday party of this country, and it really is a celebration because of all of the phenomenal achievements of Malaysia. I'm also incredibly thrilled to be here as the Royal Professor Unku Aziz Chair holder, the first one of Poverty Studies of the Center for Poverty and Development Studies at the University of Malaya. It's a fantastic honor to hold that chair. I am here in a nick of time, however, I have to say, because the assignment is to study poverty in Malaysia, and the next visitor in this chair won't find any poverty in Malaysia. So I may be the last one to have that opportunity, because poverty is disappearing fast from this country, and in no small part thanks to the phenomenal work of the government officials and the Economic Planning Unit. I come to Malaysia regularly, but mainly to learn rather than to teach, because this is a place that you learn from when you see the successes and you try to understand how they can be replicated in other places. Malaysia's economic development successes of the last 50 years, by any standard, are tremendous, but actually they're unique when viewed in an appropriate sense, because this country has done something that no other country has done in its success. This is the tropical, resource-rich success story of the world. There are many, many most tropical countries, unfortunately, remain poor. Many have had a very difficult time mobilizing the natural wealth. Many of the richest of the resource countries in the tropics have gone off the rails precisely because of the resource wealth, which has been badly handled. And this country stands as the shining example of a tropical and resource-rich country that has made it, that has had 5 decades of rapid economic growth by any standard, and it's done it with 2 other huge distinctions. One is democracy. That's also a remarkable record of half a century. And the other is with incredible ethnic diversity. When you put those pieces together, ladies and gentlemen, you should be incredibly proud of what you and what this country has accomplished, because to combine all of these elements, frankly, you're the only one that's done it. And there are so many others that need to learn from that experience. That's one of the things that I want to ask of you today in a little bit later in my remarks, because this country has an enormous contribution to make to other parts of the world. I'm really touched that the Prime Minister has been emphasizing that for years, and I think it's exactly right. That's a win-win proposition, by the way, because as Malaysia shows the ways of success in other parts of the world, this will be wonderful for this country as well in a globalized society. So as I said, I've been coming here for more than 20 years to learn, not to teach. What have I learned? I've learned a number of things about the nature of the success here. First, pragmatism. Every Prime Minister of this country has stressed, actually, from the beginning that this is not an ideologically driven country. This is a problem-solving country. And Prime Minister Badawi said it again this morning in his wonderful talk, that this is a pragmatic, mixed economy approach. It's got the market, it's got the state, it's got cooperative institutions. There's no hard edges here, I might say. It's a mix of all sorts of approaches. Maybe it doesn't fit a textbook exactly until you write the textbook, which you're doing, but it works. And it solves a lot of problems that no single ideology can solve. Second, and I very much appreciate this because we've lived through a period of what's called market fundamentalism, and that is